And we are live. What's going on? This is Unlikely Role Models, episode 25, season 2, episode 2 for the season, I guess.
Yeah. Do we start over or do we just jump into 20?
I think we just keep going so we get the episode count, but we just happen to be in season 2. Just happen to be in season 2.
All right.
Well, how was your week? You had a good week?
Yeah. I mean, it was a very busy week for me work-wise. And so there was not a lot of time for me, but I got a lot done.
There you go.
So I guess at the end of the day, I got that going for me. How about you?
It was okay. It was a lot of busy work. It was busy at work. It was busy with kids. It was busy. Obviously, we have that new grandson, and so he was in the hospital for a couple of days last week with RSV. So that's back, and he's back, and everything's good now. And so we're just smooth sailing now. It's just, the chaos of having 4 daughters, 2 grandkids, So,
yeah.
But it's good. It's good to go. Oh, Sean's hopping in here first. And he says, "Oh, man, I'm such a loser now." We don't think so.
But
we
our
appreciate
first
it.
Loser.
Yeah, you're the first loser. There we go. I appreciate that. Well, it's kind of an exciting episode. We happen to have a special guest waiting in the wings. And this is our first remote guest we've ever had, which is kind of a cool thing to try out and work through. But I want everybody to give a big Unlikely Role Models podcast hello to Mr. James Leggett.
Hey, guys.
I don't know. I think one of my buttons is applause, but I'm not going to go into that.
Cue up the crowd noise, right?
Yeah, we haven't really worked on that yet.
No. But here we are. We're back and we're blasting at it. So let me give him a little bit of an intro. So James and I have known each other for, I don't know, a couple of years now, probably. And,
3 years.
Something like that, yeah. And so James was part of a kayak fishing club that I did a little bit of stuff with. And then him and another director has started their own, and then they've rebranded. And so he is officially one of the directors of the Heartland Kayak Anglers Fishing Series here in Nebraska. So that's exciting, the rebranding and everything. You want to tell us a little bit about the kayak group and
the new brand?
Yeah, for sure. So just to give you a little bit of background. So I used to play a lot of softball, right? When I was in my 40s, I played a lot of softball, like 5 times a week, and then I got old and I got fat, and but I still had this competitive thing. So I was like, I've always liked fishing, so maybe I'll get into that. So I went and got myself a kayak and started doing a little bit of that. And then a couple years ago, me and a couple buddies started up a club, Central States Kayak Series, and this year, going into 2023, we rebranded. One of the partners left. We rebranded and just because we do so much more than just like tournaments, right? Like we do a lot of stuff as far as giving back to the community and fundraisers and all that kind of stuff. So we wanted a name that really kind of fit what we do better.
Yeah, awesome. I know you did a couple of fishing with families in the past, and you've done some other stuff like that. I know you guys help out with like all the youth stuff. And then do you also do the stuff with the Wounded Warriors that do the kayak stuff too, or?
Yeah, no, I don't. It's kind of funny. Like back in 2018, I did a couple events with Wounded Warriors, but I just don't have time now, right? Because I'm so busy with this club. You had mentioned Fishing for Families, which was kind of our big fundraiser. We set out on this task last year that we wanted to find a nonprofit and do a fundraiser, right? Like we had no idea what that looked like, but we got in touch with Ronald McDonald House Charities here in Omaha, and we went and talked to them, and we're like, yeah, I think this will be a good thing to work together. So we walked out there saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's go raise, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, something like that, and just see how it goes. So that was last January. This last August, we had our tournament. What we did is we did an Omaha citywide bass fishing tournament. It was open to boats, kayaks, bank anglers, any way that you could get on the water. had tons of corporate sponsors, and at the end of the day, we raised nearly $30,000.
Wow,
Wow.
that's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I don't know if I've had that much ambition ever in my life, though. Like I played volleyball, and then I got fat and old, and then I just went home.
No, that's super awesome. So, with this new rebranding, you guys have some new dates and some new places you're going to try this year, or kind of sticking in the same area as you were before?
For sure. So, as you can imagine, fishing for families, pulling off an event that big is it's a lot of work. So we're actually going to take a hiatus from that this year. We may revisit it in 2024, but we're not going to do that this year. But we do still have our live series, which is 6 lakes, 6 different events. We start in Omaha with what we call an Omaha Roadrunner. Basically, you can fish one of like 4 different lakes in the Omaha area. Then after that, we go to Elwood Reservoir, which is kind of middle of the state. That takes us into June. We actually go down to Wilson, Kansas, which is an awesome lake. Some great smallmouth fishing down there. We have a tournament down there that we're doing with Kansas Kayak 8 anglers. July, I'll have to get back to you on July. Okay. Oh, we're in Creston, Iowa. Yeah, we're over in Creston, Iowa. We're doing another Roadrunner.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that now. Yeah.
Yeah, great
That's cool.
lakes over there. Like the fishing's phenomenal over there. And Iowa, they do their state parks right, man. I mean, they're just such nice facilities, clean. The lakes are well maintained. You don't see trash laying everywhere. So we love going over there. Then we go down to Mozingo in Missouri in August. And then we finish off our season with a 2-day tournament in Okoboji.
That's really cool. So I know that with the sticks that we were both part of before, they had like league nights. Are you doing those, or are you going to eventually do those?
Yeah, so we do league nights, and it's only because I don't know how to say no, right? Like, if someone has a good idea and I want to do it, like I'm just that guy that just wants to go do it. So we do 12 weeks of league nights. Last year we also had a fall league, which was kind of an extension of league nights, but we met on Saturday mornings. And then on top of that, we do 6 monthly online tournaments as well.
That's really cool too. Yep. Okay. And then for people that don't know and they're kind of interested in what's going on, can you kind of explain how it's work with kayak fishing compared to, say, like regular big bass fishing and that kind of thing?
Yes, sure. So as you can imagine, on a kayak, you have very limited space, right? You don't have room for a live well and all of that you can haul these big fish around with you. So instead of like keeping our fish and weighing them in at the end of the day, we do what's called a catch, photograph, release type tournament. And we use an app called TourneyX, where as we catch a fish, we put it on a measuring board called a bump board. And there's certain things that you have to do when measuring this fish. And you take a picture on your camera, and then you upload it to this app. And the app just keeps track of all of your fish for you. Then we have judges who go in and judge them, right? Make sure that all the rules are followed. And then it's typically your best 5 bass for the day.
There you go. I'm okay with that. I think the catch and release aspect of kayak angling is so much better than like the trauma from pulling these big bass out of the lake and toting them around all day, essentially in a cooler, and then you put them in bags and go up and weigh them. I think it's just way more detrimental to the fish.
Strictly kind of goes off length more than weight or anything.
Yeah,
you don't weigh it all.
So I won't have any opportunity to shove any weights down its mouth.
Yeah, like walleye guys. Oh man, there was half a boat anchor in those fish. That was the craziest thing,
right?
Yeah, no, I think the only way that I've ever heard of people trying to like cheat kayak angling is you have to have your hand on it with over the top of the fish with the number. And I know that there's been people that have like cut fish and then they put their hand over to where there's like a gap there. That's the only you can really, and then like you have to have rules like you have to have closed mouth, right? Closed mouth.
Right.
And
closed mouth can't be covering the eye. You can't have a finger in the gill plate. The tail has to be laying flat on the board. So there's a variety of things that have to happen, but you were talking about, people cutting fish. Yeah, there was one guy who caught a bass and he cut the tail off of this bass and he kept it on his boat all day. And he would like lay his hand on top of this so you couldn't tell that it was an extension of the fish that he was measuring. And that's one way that he was cheating, right? Of course, he got caught.
Oh, jeez.
Right? Because cheaters should always
Yikes.
get caught. And then
No doubt.
most recently, like 2 years ago, we're using these plastic boards that are like 30 inches long, right? And the brand that everybody used to use had a little bit of flex in it. So what this guy was doing is he would put his fish on the board and he would put so much pressure on it that the board would bend without breaking, and he was getting extra length out. And again,
oh, geez.
Yeah, there you go.
Just
because everybody's wondering, this is what the buck boards look like.
Yeah.
This is just the standard one. This is from Catch Company. These were actually a bunch of these were made when we were all part of Sticks, and we got that big order. That's when these were.
You just make a custom one, scoot your inches a little bit closer, and
all of that stuff is fairly regulated on all that. But
yeah. So can you tell me with the group you got, do you have like a mission or something you hope to see out of it, or is it just something you like doing?
So for me personally, like I enjoy the competition, right? Like I really do enjoy getting out there and competing and trying to beat rest of these clowns that I fish with, right? Like that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
But
everybody wants to beat Marty. Yep.
Yeah, right. At the end of the day, really, I like getting people together and like hanging out and grilling up some burgers and having a few cold ones. That's really what I enjoy. Like if I win, cool. I like the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because we do win a little bit of money, but I just like bringing people together and hanging out and introducing new folks to the sport. And we have such a unique group where everybody kind of shares their knowledge, and it just makes the day a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just have to work on catching fish, but the whole day thing sounds fun too, though.
Oh man,
I'm not as good as I think I am. I go out, I have a tackle box, I have boat, and I go out with way more gear than I'll ever use, and then I just sit there and stare at water for 8 hours.
Any day fishing is a better day than almost anything else. So Kyle actually, when I had my lure, Kyle actually got to go out with me a couple times and try that out and stuff like that. There was
cool.
We hit up a lake that was it was close by us and stuff like that, kind of messing around, just trying to see how much it would actually take, flip it and that thing, and do some shallow water testing.
And that was kind of when I got interested. So I don't have a kayak yet, but I've definitely got my eye on. See, I think for me, my size and stuff, I want the Vibe Coast 130, and I've been eyeing it for about 3 years now.
I think you wouldn't. I really think that you need to look into new canoe, because like for big guys like us, new canoe's the way to go.
Okay.
They have stuff like their like pound capacity is like up over 500 pounds, like really really up there. Sea Ghost is good, but like I think
it's
that
550.
Is it really that high?
Yeah.
Holy moly! I don't know. Honestly, I mean, there's one kayak to beat out of all of this, and then there's people that are going to argue or whatever. But like the Hobie Outback is the hardest kayak to beat out of the whole shit and caboodle out of this, just because it really is super hard to flip. They're easily, especially if you have like a 360 drive, they're one of the best maneuverable kayaks on the, and they have a huge capacity to hold just a ton of stuff. So,
but they make so much sense in Nebraska, though. Nebraska fishing, kayaks make so much sense.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Well, I guess I don't want to cut any short, and I'm sure we'll find some more stuff along the episode, but I figured you just kind of would play along with us as we go through and discuss our topics. You can just add to the shenanigans, and we'll just go from there. Sound good?
Yeah, perfect, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay. So, you ready to get into sports?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk NFL playoffs a little bit. Tua is out for Miami for wild card. What do you think of that?
I mean, it was only a matter of time.
Man, he just too many concussions. He's in concussion protocol. He's not going to get out of it. But the funny thing
I
is,
think it's probably time for him to retire. Honestly, I mean,
he's only had like 6 concussions this year or something.
how many can you have before like you have to start worrying about long term effects?
I don't know. Steve Young had what 9 recorded in 1 year, so might as well just keep piling them on. I figure.
Those guys should stick to fishing.
Yeah, there you go.
How it keeps up might be his Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, it might keep it going. That might be the only thing he's able to do. But then they announced that Teddy Bridgewater, who's the backup, is also not playing probably because of a finger injury. So they're going to have their rookie in a wild card game against the Bucks, I think. No, the Bucks are playing Cowboys. Who I don't remember who Miami plays.
I remember looking.
The Bills. They got the Bills, man.
Bills, you're right. It's the Bills.
They're going to get absolutely smoked.
You know what? The Bills need that one. They had a rough week.
That's bad. So update on him. He's back in Buffalo and says he's going to be back to playing. So he's up, walking around, and everything. So.
Well, he won't be this season for sure.
No, not this season. But
yeah, I'm sure he's still got plenty.
Just comes
of
back for the
ribs.
Super Bowl game and just gets 6 touchdowns and yikes. So other big news, we got Derek Carr is gone from the Raiders. He announced today that he's gone. There's no official trade or whatever, but he's putting himself out there into the world, and he's gone from the Raiders. Even with that huge contract, I don't know who's going to even want to like buy and eat that contract. The only team stupid enough to do that would be the Broncos.
Yeah, no, they got themselves some new coaches and stuff. So
yeah, I don't know. What'd you think of that waste of money that you guys picked up last year?
Yeah, man. You know what? I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it. It's just been, since Manning retired, it's just been hard, man. It's been super painful.
I think it's the altitude.
It's the altitude. It's gonna be what it is. The thing that gets me is, go ahead.
I don't get the reasoning on picking Wilson up and then giving him this mega extension before he ever took a snap. I mean,
oh yeah.
His last year in Seattle, he was average at best. I don't.
Well, I expected more.
I hear he gives good massages.
Yikes!
I mean, just saying, extension could have came from there.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It was a boatload of money anyhow for Denver to throw away anyhow. I think on QB, but I even expected more out of Russell Wilson than what he's produced. It's been horrible. Yeah. And from the side, his demeanor in the locker room isn't good. His attitude towards other players isn't good. He floats around like he's, better than everybody else or whatever is what, a lot of reports are saying and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, you're having the shittiest year of your entire career. I don't know that I'd be walking around like acting it better than anybody. I don't know, but
did you guys ever see the TikTok series of the kid who's is that from Nebraska? He has a running tally on Russell Wilson throwing more touchdown passes than he has bathrooms in his house. And I think he ended tied for the season.
One up. 13.
Yeah.
He has 12 bathrooms in his house, 13 touchdowns for the year.
Well, he was talking about it on live, and he was joking. He's like, he had no idea the series was going to last the whole season.
Right? It's so bad.
If you got 12 bathrooms in your house, you got irritable bowel syndrome or something, man. Something's not right there.
It's a huge house, I'm sure, because he got plenty of money to buy the damn thing. Let's see. We got the Rams are probably going to be looking for a new head coach. I think Sean is gone. I don't know where he's going to end up, but
quite a bit of movement. Really.
Yeah. Yep. And then our faithful Chiefs have a first round bye, first seed. Let's go. And then it's probably the last year for Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. However, he has not announced that he's retiring. So there is some talks about him going to Miami. I think that would be crazy. because that I could see being a national championship team with Tom Brady at the helm, except for he really hasn't wowed by any means this year. But but we are going into playoffs. And then so Tom Brady during the playoffs is a completely different human being than Tom Brady regular season. There's, how many years did they squeak into the playoffs, with the Patriots and then just run it, So we got a bunch of people here. We got Peyton for sure, is the Rams coach, and looks like Brady Dawkins. That's what he said. And then Rapid Dave hopping in here. What's up, fellas? How are you? Whoa, there we go. And let's see. Last thing I got is the Mac Jones, the QB for the Pats, is also asking for a trade because he blames the Patriots fans for being assholes.
Well, I mean, only the entire existence of the franchise,
right? Yeah. Jeez,
was he really that surprised?
I wouldn't want to come, and I wouldn't want to be the quarterback. Just like I wouldn't have wanted to be the quarterback coming after Manning when he left the Colts. I wouldn't want to be the quarterback after, heck, the only person that's actually had a successful thing where this kind of happened would have been Aaron Rodgers taking over for Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Because he at least kind of made something out of it. But yeah, I don't know. Now let's talk fantasy a little bit. So we got two stories to kind of go into here. Durf and Dylan, who was up here earlier, I'm part of one of their leagues that they're running. They used to be part of the same podcast series that they were doing, and then they ended up having to take some time off. But my punishment. Did I tell about this?
I heard it. Yeah.
Okay, so my punishment for Sacco, because it was a PPR league. I got last in the league. I had a bunch of players that just got injured all year. It sucked. But my punishment is that I got to do one of those sexy beer posters like you seen all the girls doing for their guys back last year during TikTok or whatever. So I am sending this so hard. I've already ordered American flag Speedo. I have friends that are professional photographers. I am going so hard at this. Like they picked the one person.
Okay, what's the theme?
Oh, what do you mean for the beer poster?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh,
You're gonna be on a beach. You're gonna be.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna. It'll be
a motorcycle.
It'll be a beach. It'll be definitely a beach. It'll be Natter Days probably for at least one of them. It'll be Natter Days, and my thinking is I'm going to shave my chest in the shape of a big arrow pointing down as well, with my American flag Speedo, my American flag cowboy boots, and then pit vipers in my bottle cap cowboy hat, just pouring beers in my mouth, running down my chest and everything for the poster. I think this is gonna be a solid.
Don't think you shave like a flamingo in it?
No. It's either a heart or it's an arrow. And if I end up doing a calendar, which I am considering doing, if I do a calendar, you can easily turn an arrow upside down that's pointing down into a heart if you shave some more. And so I could do that for Valentine's Day too. And shave the heart into a 4-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day. I can get at least 4 good holidays out of chest hair before it's all gone.
Not 100% sure I want that calendar, but
you're getting a laminated poster, and I'm gonna put it up in your house before you get home one day. It's gonna be up in your bedroom above your bed.
That's how I know what date it is.
There you go. It's the one by my balls.
That's December.
December. Oh man.
Can you say that on TikTok? Can you say balls on TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay, balls is okay.
Yeah, balls you can say all day long.
Hard Z.
But we don't have TikTok up until we got about 10 more minutes before. So if you guys didn't watch last week, my TikTok and Kyle's TikTok was down because I don't remember. It could have been because we were talking about
Well-
OF stuff, or it could have been because I said the like derogatory name for the male member. It could have been any number of things. It was probably my fault though.
Well, I did find it funny when it kicked us. We both got kicked because we both were live, and it was the same conversation.
Yeah.
You got bullying and harassing,
Yeah.
and mine got just general
no.
rule breaking.
Mine was because I said something like I was going to kick somebody's like butt or something like that. Because we were on Grind My Gears and we were talking about when people hang up and how I want to kill people when they hang up on me. That's why
I tell
I
you
got
what,
kicked.
it's almost like a communist owns TikTok.
Imagine that. All right. Well, you here have a fun fantasy football story, and I want to hear about it.
Yeah. So
You specifically, James.
Yeah, James. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I didn't actually play in this particular league, but I did play softball and friends with a good sized group of these guys. But they were in a fantasy league where the winner of the league got to pick the tattoo that the loser of the league got, and it wasn't a small tattoo. They were sizable tattoos. So and because of this, of course, they caught some attention, and they ended up being on Leno, and were written about in Matthew Berry's book on fantasy football. And I think the last year they had the league, I want to say ESPN paid each of them like $1,500 to keep playing fantasy football because it was getting so much attention.
That's awesome. So I tried to get these pictures or whatever. Do you want to describe some of these pictures of some of these tattoos?
Yeah. So
I didn't get them loaded up on here.
Yeah. So my buddy Palmer, great guy. He was a college athlete. He's like, I don't know, he's like 6'5" or something, tall, skinny dude. But on his thigh, he has a big tattoo that is Justin Bieber's face, and it says YOLO Swag Fantasy Loser 2012. So it's bad. There's another one where I can't remember who has this one, but it's Matthew Berry's face on Miley Cyrus's body riding a wrecking ball, and the wrecking ball is Jay Leno's face.
So crazy.
I mean, they have to spend all season just thinking them up, right?
Oh yeah, I would have a top 5 for everybody. Oh yeah,
I already know what I would put on you.
The person getting the tattoo had no idea what they were getting until they went to sit in the chair and get their tattoo.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh man, I think I would struggle with that one.
Well, because you don't have any ink at all, do you?
No.
Do you, James? Do you at all?
No, not at all. Not at all.
See, and I do, and I have no problem getting tattoos, and I especially don't have a problem getting stupid tattoos. But I would be really weary about. I would have a hard time getting a stupid tattoo that somebody had picked out for me. Like me choosing a stupid tattoo is fine. One of my idiot friends picking a stupid tattoo for me.
Man.
Oh, no way.
I can tell you right now, the tattoo I would pick is you getting ran over by a car, drove by a moose.
Oh my God. James, well, I don't know that you know this story, I guess, but there's been a very, very long, it's actually the reason that this show even exists, thing back and forth where we were sitting around a fire one night and we were talking about animals and things like that. And according to me and what I remember being drunk that night was the discussion was if you came out of a bar and you were like up north and you came out of a bar and there was either a moose on your car or a mountain lion, which one would you rather have? My answer was a moose because I was under the impression that I felt like you could walk way around your car and then kind of sneak up on the backside and get in your car and then like drive away. Yes, a moose is heavy and it'd be hard on your car and dent the hell out, whatever. But I feel like you could do that where I feel like a mountain lion would try to attack you. That was my premise. And since then, it has been changed, and everybody says how the original thing went. Anyhow, is on any given week, I get a barrage of moose attacking people videos, or like, oh, look at this guy choking out a mountain lion barehanded, or look at this domestic cat spitting at a mountain lion and getting the mountain lion to go away videos. It has been nonstop for like 5 years. And so,
and I think he's finally starting to see that maybe he was wrong.
no, I still, under the original premise, if he was sitting on the hood, I would much rather try to deal with trying to get a mountain or a moose off my car than deal with whatever a mountain lion would do. I still feel like that.
So
whatever.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting to know which has killed more people, right? Like, has a mountain lion killed more people, or has a moose killed?
I really think that I really feel like that would not help my thing at all, because I know that there's moose attacks all the time. So
Yeah, for
so
sure.
more than likely, more people have been killed by moose than mountain lions. But
I do think the best one, James, is when a year or two ago there was a gentleman hiking in Colorado
oh
who
Jesus,
got attacked by a mountain lion and he strangled it, right? Choked it with his bare hands. We sent the
it was
article.
a baby.
We sent the article to Shane, whose rebuttal is it was only a year old, but to date I have yet to receive a video of anyone choking out a year-old moose.
It's a good point.
What Rapid Dave coming in here. Rapid Dave says, I'm not trying to mess with either. A moose has killed more for sure. Whatever. Okay, let's get into this other part of this podcast. God damn it. Whatever. Okay. Speaking of hunting things, like I'm going to hunt Kyle later. You want to get into freaky facts, I guess?
Let's do it.
Okay. Hunting unicorns is legal in Michigan. Okay.
Okay.
So it says, say what you will about the existence of unicorns, but Lake Superior State University definitely thinks that they're legit. WT Bill Rabe established that unicorn hunters in 1971 as a PR stunt for the Michigan University. During this time, LSSU offered a unicorn hunting license until Rabe's retirement in 1987.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Do you know?
Go ahead.
Kind of to piggyback off of that, one thing I've always found interesting is so rhino,
Yeah.
is part of the horse family, right?
Oh, so it's
actually more closer to a horse than like an elephant, etc., whatever. And they have the horn, and I'm thinking rhinos are unicorns, and we can shoot them in Michigan.
Okay, that
was my first thought.
I mean, it sounds plausible to me. I'm okay with that. I would think that field dressing and pulling that out of a field way harder than a deer.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna need two kayaks,
especially the deer in Michigan. We rented an Airbnb in Michigan, and up above the fireplace on this cabin here was a deer, and it was like a Nebraska 2x2. Like it was just
the cutest little thing.
It was just like they shot a buck, like a button buck, and they put it all above their fireplace. And me and my brother both walked in, and we're just looking at it. We're just like, that must be sentimental. So we asked the people around about it, like, hey, what's up with that? And they're like, no, that's pretty big for this area. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Nebraska is really a destination for deer hunting. Like guys that come from all over the United States to deer hunt in Nebraska. I think it's kind of wild. Before we get any further, we have not touched a beer yet. Let's touch a beer. I mean, that sounds aggressive, but let's go with this one. I think we'll go with this one.
Do it.
So this first beer that we're going to be trying is from Boulevard Brewing Company. It was 5.6 ABV, 25 IBUs. It is a Belgian Abbey style single. It was the Alex Rodriguez Brewer's Choice 2022. I wish you were enjoying these with us, James, but you were taking the year off, correct?
Yeah, it's been 3 months this Monday since I've had a beer.
Wow. Good on you. I couldn't do it. There's a lot of things I can do, but face this world sober is not one of them. So you just trying to give your liver a little break and whatnot. Is that your reasoning on it, or
when you get to be my age, right? So I'm mid-50s. You don't recover as quickly as you used to, right? Like you just don't.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now. Yeah.
Well, hey, Shane, it only gets worse, man. Like it only gets worse. So
yeah, no, I'm sure it is. That's why I'm keeping in practice. I don't want it to get any worse than it has to.
Well, and then you'll reach a point too where you have 4 or 5 beers a night, and then you're up 3 times in the middle of the night to take a pee. So, right?
Oh yeah, I gotta figure that out. But I maybe be like one of those. No, I was not thinking that. I was thinking like a homemade like catheter kind of situation with like a douchebag, but where you just fill up a water bottle at night or whatever. You want to give this one a try?
Yep.
It's a little different, right?
That's a little different.
It has, I don't want to say skunky because that's not the right word, but it has this kind of...
It smells better than it tastes.
It does. It has this weird little, almost, I don't know how to describe it. It has a real malty back end that for somebody that doesn't drink a lot of...
I give it a 4.
Oh, really? A 4 on your scale? Oh,
on my scale.
My scale's a little bit... This is probably a 7.5 for me. I actually enjoy the style, but it's definitely like an acquired taste. It's a heavy malt. It's got a heavy malt to it, like almost like a roasted hops kind of thing too. But it's actually pretty decent.
So just to clarify, on my scale, James, anything under a 5 is something I'll never drink again.
Here, give me the rest of that bottle because I know there's more in there. I'll drink it. I actually really like this one. But James is quite the craft beer guy. That's kind of a lot of the reason that we communicate on a semi-regular basis is because we're both craft beer guys and we both enjoy that. Along with that, I actually get to do a little bit with the Heartland Kayak Series. So one of your sponsors is Cross Strain. Out of Papillion, Nebraska. And I don't remember what that owner's name is off the top of my head. I always think of Pint Nines, James. I always think of him, but
so
it's great guys over there. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, Bobby Cross is one of the owners. Bobby Cross and Scott Strain, super nice guys. By the way, they're right next door. They share a common wall with the guys over at Pint Nine. So all of those guys are
they share the same. They share the same cans too. Just for when they get can orders, they split can orders. I remember Jim. So they're one of the sponsors going to be doing reviews on cross strain stuff for the kayak series and stuff. And then the 24th, you also have a kayak podcast, and I will be a guest on that as well. Go ahead and you want to talk about that a little bit, and then we'll get into the rest of our stories here. I forgot to mention that earlier.
No, it's fine. Our podcast is pretty low budget, right? So I really started it just as a way to give a little love to our sponsors. So we do this, I don't know, a few times a year, but it's a good time. So anyway, we're going to do our first one on April 24th. We have a kid from, I want to say he's from like Kearney area. His name's Tim Berry, and he's going to come on, and I think he's like 22 years old, and he is taking a float trip, like a 6-week float trip solo down the Yukon River this summer.
That's gonna be so gnarly. That would be
Yeah.
really cool. Have
It's-
you
it's
So
ever?
like
has he been
1,200
down to
miles.
Yukon before, I assume?
What's that?
Like, has he been down the Yukon before? Or is he just gonna like, hey, you know what? That looks like fun. Here I go.
Yeah, pretty much it. That's it. He's just like, you know what? I'm young and I want to go on this adventure.
Okay.
And he's going by himself. So we're gonna talk about what this trip. I mean, I can't imagine the preparation that goes into this, right? Like all the gear and
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but whatever.
Have you? Speaking of this, have you ever done overnight boats down like a river or whatever, where you camp on like a sand bar or something like that, and then keep going or anything like that?
No.
So
not-
I've done
not my
I've
thing.
done one once. I've done one once with a couple of people where we floated down the Platte, which is obviously super, super shallow. And we
Right.
floated down the Platte, but then it was a long enough float that we floated one day for like 6.5 hours, and then we set up camp and sent a little bit of food with us, and we cooked on like a sandbar, and we set up camp on a sandbar, and then we went and floated another 6 hours the next day or whatever. It was a super fun time, but I can't imagine doing like a whole ass river. Like that's super wild to think about.
6 weeks. Like,
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool.
I don't know if I've committed myself to 6 weeks of anything.
Yeah. Well, and then like I've when we went to Minnesota, I did that canoe trip. And so we had to
Okay.
do like portages, which is like where you jump from one lake
Yeah.
to the next lake and stuff. And to be completely honest, it was a group of people. It was a ton of gear. It was a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like I would have almost rather just stayed on the one damn lake and then like not went to the next one, just because you have to unload all of your gear on the bank. Then you like take the canoe to the other side. Then you come back. You have to do, whatever stretch of land this was. It was about a quarter of a mile. It was like 300 or 400 pounds of gear plus a canoe, and you had to like walk all together, underneath the canoe or what. It was a pain in the butt.
So when I was like 15, we did a canoe trip and actually up in Canada in the Boundary Waters.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Yep.
And yeah, the boat was like the boat. They just take you for like 8 hours, and their portages, they come up on like a railroad looking thing. They park the boat on it and just pull over the island onto the next one, and it'll go, hey. Well, once they drop us off, we were there for 9 days on the water. And so we had 9 days worth of supplies for 8 or 10 people.
Yeah.
And those portages were terrible. One of them was like half a mile long. And there's nothing. There's absolutely, I'm 15 years old, and they had it. You couldn't leave everything on one because the natives in the area would come and just take it.
Oh, geez.
So you had to have someone stay, someone would bring everything over there and one have to stay there while one comes back, and then this whole back and forth thing. So you're just sitting there with a stick, just waiting for someone to jump out of a tree or something, not know what's gonna happen. Like
crazy Canadian.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. They just told me I have to stay here and make sure no one steals stuff.
Oh man!
And I'm like looking around. I'm like, who's up here? Like, I haven't even seen a power line in 2 days.
Crazy Canadian Aborigines. That's what. They're really polite though. As they steal your stuff, they say,
"This
sorry.
is mine, thanks."
Sorry. They're stealing all your stuff. Okay. Let's, now that we've gone down that rabbit hole, let's go back to some of this content.
We can go live now, by the way.
Here, before we go any further on this, just because his TikTok ban has lifted, we're gonna take a quick little 2-minute break here while he sets up, and then we'll be right back. Are you cool with that, James? You gonna come back with us?
Yeah, man, I'll hang out.
Okay. All right. We're going to be in 2 minutes. Let me, as soon as I get this figured out here. Okay, go ahead.
And
And
we're back.
because I'm an idiot. There we go. Now we're back. Okay.
You're all set up. Welcome to the late night TikTok.
There you go. Okay. We are back and at it. TikTok, thanks for joining us. We were on a ban, so we're back and at it.
We're out of jail now.
Welcome to Unlikely Role Models Podcast, and we're gonna get into some crazy facts. You ready for these, James?
You have more?
I got lots. I got lots of content this week. Do you have one for you?
I do.
Let's go.
I do. So, do you know the word Dr. Seuss, or not Dr. Seuss? Dr. Seuss invented the word nerd.
Really?
It came from Dr. Seuss in the I Ran to the Zoo book in 1950s.
James, you were around before then. Do you remember saying that?
Oh, look at the time. I gotta go.
But because little kids reading Dr. Seuss Love the World and pass it to their older siblings. But it meant a comically pleasant creature in the book.
Oh, weird. That's actually really offensive. But okay. Weird. Okay, so the inventor of
Hold on.
Wait.
Do you know Philip Frame?
No.
There's no way we just get on TikTok and the first comment is, do you know a moose horn grows 3 inches every day?
Oh, get out of here. What in the... Oh, no, I don't. And I automatically want to block him now already.
That is uncanny, right?
Oh,
that is
man. Moose-tastic. Okay. Okay, I got one for you.
I think that's just the universe just waiting for you to say you're
wrong.
wrong.
I'm not wrong. We're not going down this road again. Do you see this pleasure that he takes in this? He's such a dick.
Careful.
Oh my gosh.
Philip, I appreciate you.
Oh man, I bet you do.
I appreciate that so much.
I bet you do.
And he wasn't even over on Twitch, so he has no idea what we're talking about, but I appreciate everything about that right now.
Okay, whatever. All right, so I got this one. The inventor of Vaseline used to eat it.
What?
Yeah, you heard me right. So Robert Chesbrough invented Vaseline in 1872. I didn't know it had been around for that long either. As a medicinal product, Chesbrough discovered that oil field workers used to use rod wax or residue from oil rig pumps on wounds and cuts. He sampled some of it from the field and eventually patented it into Vaseline in 1872. But it was said that Chesbrough ate a spoonful of Vaseline every day until he died at 96 years old.
Probably helped everything go through pretty easy.
I'm telling you what, I've done some sketchy stuff with Vaseline, never ate it once.
Shane?
James, your question.
Yeah.
Did you say rod wax? Rod wax?
Yeah, no, exactly what I'm saying. Right? I'm saying it's rod wax.
And you just renamed it Vaseline?
It says wax or... Yeah, I thought rod wax was a great name. It's a universal rod wax in the real world too. I mean, you pop it in the microwave a little bit, it does wonders.
Well, I mean, back to the bunch of ankles we're showing back in 1872.
Right? That's what they used to use way back in the day before KY. Little rod wax will just straighten you out, right? Can you just imagine tarps full of rod wax just sliding down hills back?
Listen, there's got to be something behind it, though. If he lived in 96 and 1872,
you know what?
Think of all the things he beat.
So here's what I'll say. I have heard an uncanny amount of people that have lived to be 100+ years old that just eat crazy stuff. And they still there was a guy that lived to be 118 years old in England. Said all he ate from the 50 on was fried and bacon fat every single bacon back fat every day and a fifth of scotch. That's all he ate every single day. Lived to be 118 years old. I'm just saying, there's got to be something to some of this, you know.
I mean, if that's all you eat, do you want to live to 118?
I bet he had cool stories though. Somebody that just drinks scotch every day. I bet he had some cool stories. And then you got another one?
I just have one that says that you could buy eel flavored ice cream in Japan. And I don't know if you've ever had eel.
Yeah, it's not good.
So I've tried it 2 or 3 times because I like to, make sure I don't like it. And I tried it at different places.
You like to make the mistake more than once, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go there. Yes, I do. Said I'll try anything at least twice.
Yeah, that's my motto.
But I just wanted to make sure because I tried one. The first one I tried was in Nebraska. And I'm like, you know what? This probably isn't that.
Yeah.
So then I tried it closer to the ocean, and I just decided I just don't like it. There's not any part of eel that I like. It's super muddy and fishy. And the fact that they have flavored ice cream about it makes me understand.
No,
never mind.
Hard pass. Super hard pass. Have you ever ate eel and enjoyed it by any means?
No, never had eel, never had rod wax.
No rod wax.
No rod
maybe
wax.
You should add that to your. You should add that to the list of things you need to try. Maybe
probably throw some on a kayak and just like dip it.
If somebody needs rod wax, I'll help them out. Like if you need rod wax, I'm your man. But
yeah,
I'm not gonna eat it.
You own some stock in it, do you?
That's a real friend right there.
I'm not gonna wax the rod for you, but I will provide the wax that you need.
Have my jar of rod wax.
It's ready to go, huh? I heard this. Okay, I and this is a little bit of a rabbit hole. I had a friend that when he was back in college, he was being intimate with his lady, right? And he's a broke college student, so of course, instead of having any kind of traditional lubricants, he also used to up rod wax in his microwave, good old Vaseline, and then use that, on when he's going to town with his lady. Yeah, I don't know, right? But one night he mixed up bottles and he smothered himself in Vicks Vapor Rub.
Oh my god!
And then also penetrated.
She hasn't breathed that well for years.
And also penetrated to where she had to deal with. So it's just like the worst. I cannot imagine.
No. How do you get to that? Vicks, would they all have COVID and couldn't smell it?
I have no idea. He said he reached over, went to go grab like a small little scoop of it or whatever, and just in the heat of the moment wasn't paying attention. And bada boom, bada bing.
What? Heat of the moment. I don't think I'm gonna.
You would think the smell would wake you up.
Trip check anything I'm about to go. Throw rod oil on.
Oh man. Yikes. All right, let's get into this next one. Did you know that the first thing ever sold on the internet was a bag of weed?
That is great. Explain more.
Okay, so it says that you'd be surprised that the earliest transaction on the internet was of weed, and it recorded in the 1970s. The stash was negotiated between Stanford and MIT students.
Look who invented that. I'm surprised that's it.
There was probably some stuff that was non-internet related that they traded as well, but I would assume co-eds were part of that exchange. But and then I got one more. Now, this one kind of surprised me a little bit, but this seems like it'd be something. So in France, back in the Middle Ages, women could take their husband to court for impotence.
Okay.
So in the Middle Ages,
How? Okay, go ahead.
In the 16th century France, women had the right to take their impotent husbands to court. Then their genitals would be examined by a group of priests and midwives who would try to get it erect.
So that's where it all started.
with priests? Is that where we're going? I'm the one that pushed the boundaries of the show.
I didn't say nothing.
Yikes. Well, they're just doing their service to the church. Okay.
And then what are they like specifically though? Like, what are you looking for?
I don't know.
I mean, that's
a great looking sausage, Carl. Well, I don't know. What do you?
Okay, well, then how many guys are like volunteering?
I don't think nobody volunteers. I think this is in court. Like,
I might be impotent. I'm going to have to go to the hall of, rod greasers and my monthly checkup.
Here's my funny whole thing is the fact that a group of people are trying to get you hard. I'm telling you right now, I don't necessarily suffer from any kind of performance anxiety by any means, but if a group of people is staring at my junk trying to get it hard, you know what it's not going to do? It's not hard.
Just the thought for me.
Oh, man. My pastor sitting there just looking at me like, yo, get hard. You're supposed to get hard for you. Oh, no, get away from me. It's not happening. Oh man, okay.
It'd be like when they find out witches. Like if she floats, she's not a witch.
If it gets hard, he's a warlock. If it gets hard, watch out. He's a sorcerer. Oh man,
gotta burn him at the stake.
They just called them witches if they could get it hard. Like if the midwives or whatever. Oh, it's hard. She's a witch.
And they're just sitting there flaunting those ankles, right? Like, just what do you think about this?
Just showing off ankle, trying to get it. Oh man.
No, show that ankle if you don't want none.
Show that ankle. Let's get into a second beer real quick. We can get into Would You Rather. Is that where we're at, or do you have? What do you have?
No, that's it.
Okay. We'll get into another one you're not gonna like. Then that way we can pair it off with another one you probably won't like. This next beer we're going to try is 10 Penny Ale. It is an American bitter. This is a throwback for Boulevard. They used to produce this. They don't all the time now.
Mr.
James,
Potato Head.
Have you ever had this one?
Toy advertised on TV. I actually knew that one from a previous. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but I knew that one from some
Mr.
point.
Potato Head was what? The first
toy advertised on TV.
Wow, that's kind of actually interesting. That's right up there with like all the root beer companies not having
and all the Mrs. Potato Heads were really pissed about it.
Yeah, right? Oh, there we go. So, James, have you ever had this beer before? This is 10 Penny Ale from Boulevard.
I have not, no.
So this is an American bitter, which is a unique style of beer. There's a thing called an English bitter, which is essentially the equivalent of like so it's like a lesser IPA. But this one is interesting because it has, I'm probably going to spoil it for you. Go ahead, bud. Really pleasant front end, weird back end, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like there's rusty nails that you're drinking in the back end. It's super weird.
Just going to keep that at 4.2.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. This one, so to kind of describe this,
like I can finish it, but I'm not going to have it again.
Yeah.
One is I'm tossing this on the ground.
So I would try to describe this to other people like it is a pale ale, except for the back end is really dry and has a extremely bitter kind of like old newspapery kind of into it that you're not like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like
it lasts forever on the back end.
Yeah. It tastes like you put a little bit of like a little piece of burlap sack in your mouth or something just in the back end. But it has a really pleasant front end. But like turned down beer, so I'm just gonna keep drinking it. But like it just has it's unique. And don't get me wrong, I am all about unique. Okay. Do you want to get into would you rather, or do you want to get into news stories? What do you want to do?
You can do news stories.
Okay. You got one if you want to start it out, or I think I have 2 or 3.
So, you know who Steve Jobs is?
Yep.
You know what?
We're
Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
The sandals.
Yep.
They auctioned off his Birkenstocks in Arizona that he wore in the 1970s to the 1980s. Says to many pivotal moments in Apple history.
Okay.
It's just his sandals. $218,000 is what someone paid for this guy's sandals.
Wow. So Birkenstocks are essentially like Jesus cruisers, and 218. I mean, that's probably not the most that a pair of shoes have ever gone for, but it's got to be right up there.
The highest price ever paid for a pair of sandals at auction.
Oh, I believe that. That's super wild. Are you a shoe guy by any means, James? Or
no, not really. I'm barefoot pretty much all summer. But have you guys ever worn Birkenstocks?
No.
Yeah, they're gross, man. They make your feet sweat. They smell. I can't imagine what those things smelled like if you wore them for 10 years. Like, had to be horrible.
I'm telling you right now, Steve Jobs, they probably smell like money. Is what I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
I paid $218,000 for him. Yikes!
I don't know if I've liked anyone enough to spend $218,000 for their shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is. I mean, on picking up topic. You think that there's ever been celebrities that they've like been propositioned for like that kind of money for like say female actresses for undergarments? You think they've ever had like weird, strange emails come in like I'll pay $250K your like day old like undergarments or whatever?
Oh, I'm sure there's fans out there for sure. I don't know about that amount of money. I mean, I don't care how famous I am. If someone wants a pair of my boxers for $200,000, they're gonna get them.
That's what I'm saying. We were discussing.
I'll leave the fart smell in them and everything.
Rip a couple extra ones in there. Well, it's just like that gal that was selling. We talked about
bath
this.
Water.
No. Remember the gal that farts in the jars, and they were like thousands of dollars a jar for like. It just shows that men are degenerate creeps.
We are the worst.
They're just willing to spend the stupidest money. Okay. I digress. Okay, let's go to this next one. Okay, you're gonna like this.
Could you imagine though? I'm gonna just keep going.
No, you're good. You're good.
Could you imagine? So, like in the animal kingdom, right?
Okay.
You got like the bird of paradise who like cleans up a big area and then puts this big show on for like a dance.
Okay.
Could you imagine if the human race had some kind of mating ritual that we had to do to try to attract a female?
I do.
Oh yeah. I would love to see it.
It's called peacocking. And it's a little dance. There's a little helicopter action in there too. It's a lot of thrusting. A lot of
See, I just see you now running thrusting at the foot of the bed. Just prepping her up.
Make her so big. You gotta show them you're not afraid of them.
Like just jiggling, just getting her in the mood.
I just trouble shuffle.
Getting your sports on your eyes.
Nothing turns that faucet on like a truffle shuffle. I'm telling you right now. Okay, sorry, we went down that rabbit hole.
But the thing is, we just have to keep outdoing each other, right? So, like, the birds are doing it, the animals are doing it for competitive. I mean, the next guy would be right behind you, just like watch.
I'm telling you right now, he's not right behind me doing shit. We're gonna kill that real quick and in a hurry. Side by side, I think I could deal with, but behind I have some words.
He's gonna throw off
Knock
the
it off,
performance.
Carl! Put that damn thing away. You're just behind me. Okay. My news story. Oklahoma man allegedly killed friend while fishing because he thought he was gonna be a victim of Bigfoot eating him.
Okay.
Okay, so
First off, what drugs?
no, I don't know. I do think I have his mugshot though. We can put up here real quick. Oh, I didn't. Right. I saw. So the way that this sounds is this guy Larry, who lives in Oklahoma, was fishing with his friend Jimmy. They were out noodling, which is it was real big in Oklahoma, and Jimmy kept getting further and further away from him. And so Larry thought that there was a reason he was doing that, and so Larry went up and hit him and then choked him to death in the water and killed him because he thought that his friend was going to feed him to Bigfoot, and that's why he was getting further and further away from him.
No way they're not involved in
I'm
this
sure they
story.
are. I'm sure they are. It doesn't say here, but let me tell you what Larry had to say. Larry advised he believed Jimmy was trying to get away from him so that the Sasquatch could eat Larry. The agent reportedly wrote in the report, Larry would not let Jimmy get away. Larry punched Jimmy and struck Jimmy with a stick, and Larry and Jimmy fought until Larry strangled Jimmy to death. You're not going to tell people where my fishing spot is, and you're not feeding me to the Sasquatch. I feel like it's a little aggressive, but I mean, whatever. It doesn't say anything about drugs, though, and I would agree with you. Something was involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least PCP. Do you have another one?
No.
Oh, okay. So, a UK teen car thief got caught hiding in a giant stuffed panda. This kid was 18 years old. He was driving without a license, stole gas, and he stole this car, and he hid in a giant teddy bear. I do have a picture of this. There he is, hiding in a giant teddy bear, and they found. Good on him. That's a hell of a hiding spot. To try to hide from the police.
I'm sure he made it.
So listen to what the cop said was when we went to arrest him, our officers noticed a large bear in the corner. so they checked it and they found him in there.
Well, do you ever see that video of the guy who like runs in? He has nowhere to go, so he just goes and stands in the corner and like picks up like a sign to sit in front of him.
Oh yeah,
and then like 8 SWAT cops come swarming in the room, and then they just leave, and none of them saw him. He's just standing there, with a sign.
Yeah, I do remember seeing it. It was like the camera footage from inside the store or whatever.
Yeah.
So wild. Okay, and then here's my last story. And this is kind of my favorite, and I'm not saying that it's because I've had a similar thought just to see what the outcome would be.
Yeah.
But Florida bride alleges wedding food with pot. Grants as deputies arrive. Body cam shows. So this bride, this 42-year-old woman and a caterer were charged with tampering with food and marijuana delivery in connection with this wedding. So at least 18 people complained about feeling high or ill after eating at the reception, and there was only like 50 to 70. A really small wedding to me anyhow, but apparently somebody saw the bride putting like some kind of content into like the olive oil for the bread and stuff like that. So essentially she just turned the wedding food into an edible and like seen what happened. we covered that story a while back of the world's largest edible that was ever made, and it was like 200,000 milligrams.
Yeah.
So I talked to another friend of mine about that, and I actually broke it down size wise. And so even a 1 inch by 1 inch square of that cake or whatever is still like 2,000 milligrams for a 1 inch by 1 inch. Like a normal amount for like a human to consume is somewhere probably in like the 10 to 50 range. And a 1 inch by 1 inch cube is 2,000 milligrams on that cake.
Well, you know,
I'm just saying, if somebody did this, everybody would either have a really good time or apparently a really bad time. But it sounds like an adventure either way. But yeah, so I do have a picture of. I had to show this. This gal's and this body cam footage is hilarious. Here we go. That's a smirk. That's a I have done something to the food smirk right there.
she's not even sad about it.
There's no remorse there. It's her wedding. She's having a great time. What she remembers of it, she's gonna have a great time. So that's the last news story I have, I think. So yeah, they like pulled her off the dance floor, and a bunch of people were terrified because they were all high. I can't feel bad about this. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, that's what I got. All right.
Would you rather's?
Would you rather's? You got some? You got a bunch? What do you got? I only got one.
Would you rather have a nose that stops growing or ears that never stop growing?
Oof.
Woof. You're gonna come at me with something that aggressive? I
For one, am gonna pick ears.
I think I'm picking ears too. I feel like you can cover ears easier than you can cover a big old like boner nose. I mean, like a Pinocchio thing.
I mean, the nose is right there, and like people manipulate ears all the time now. I feel like there's got to be something you could do, tie them or something.
Yeah, pin them back. They just meet in the back of your head or whatever.
Pierce them together.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an odd one. I agree. That would be because like your nose, you'd have to think how it grows. Is it just going to grow out, or is it going to like just the same nose just continue to grow?
I think it'd be the same nose that just continues to grow.
Just takes up a huge amount of your. Nah, count me out on that.
I'll just have your boogers.
I'll have Dumbo ears. I'll learn to fly with him. Be something. All right, I got one. Would you rather have all the money in order to buy the things that you want, or would you rather have all those to be able to make whatever you want?
Skills.
Same. What do you got, James? James, were you ears on that last one too?
I'm definitely ears on that. Definitely ears. Like, have you ever seen anyone with like a big, huge nose?
Yeah,
you can't even look at them.
I can't say that. I was pulling the trigger, and you know exactly what's going on. I was like, you know what? No, we can't do that on the podcast. But yes, I have seen plenty of people that happen to reside more east that have ginormous noses. But that's as far as I'm going into that. But yeah, what do you think on this? Skills or buy?
Yeah, I'm in my 50s, man. I've done my time. I just want the money. Just give me the money.
Okay, that's definitely fair. I really enjoy building things, and like even like when I had my kayak, I built like my rod holder and my crate and all that stuff. So I do leatherworking now. And I had a woodworking shop before, and a woodworking business for a while. I would prefer the ability to build what I want. Kyle, you pretty much do that now. You wanted that deer blind, and you built the most ridiculous deer blind you could.
Yeah, but now I have no money.
Yeah. But to be fair, you bought the wood for that deer blind at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
Because right after that is when that wood just skyrocketed because of COVID.
I got it in like 2018 or 19 before.
It was right. It was like
before just stupid.
I was the summer before.
Yeah,
it would have been the summer before because he's got a deer blind it's big. What's 8 by?
No, it's a 5 by 10.
But it's then how tall?
Well, it's probably 10
Without the
foot to
trailer.
the very top. Oh, to the trailer, the very top.
Yeah,
probably a half.
Yeah.
7 foot.
There you go. And then it's on a big trailer. It's on, but this whole thing is like 2x6 construction and has a TV in it and storage for all kinds of stuff. Like piston actuated windows and a whole thing to like hang a deer and solar power and everything you need.
I got tired of sitting in the cold and I said, you know what? I'm going to build a cabin with wheels.
James, you don't do cold either, right? You don't ice fish or anything, right? You don't do cold at all.
No.
I hated the cold. I hate it.
Yeah. I'm a big fat guy and I hate the cold. Give me heat all day long. I can't stand when it starts getting cold. Like start bitching. Like that's the second that it's like below 50 degrees, I just start bitching. It just like, but I've had injuries, and so when I wake up, everything hurts, and it takes me 10 minutes to get my ankles going, and
the problem is I don't ever like. I get these ideas in my head, and I think, okay, I could do this. And originally, it was supposed to be just 2x4s thrown together. I was going to do a 4x8, and I said I don't need nothing fancy. I just needed to go on this trailer because I need to be able to move it because I don't have a permanent hunting spot. And so I thought cheap. I could do this under $200. I'm like $2,000 in. And I got office chairs and
carpet
and a heater and a TV and a cooking station. And I'm trying to get the urinal in there at this point.
There you go. Have you seen the guys that have the big built-in bunkers for duck hunting and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like almost the size of like a small house underground, and they have it all built up to where they can duck hunt. I'm like, I'm all for it, but like, I don't know. It seems excessive, I guess, but I don't know. We know plenty of people, James, that have like outrageous trailers and stuff that they haul their kayaks in and everything too, I suppose. It is what it is. Mr. Kayak Jack himself with his kayak rig with the trailer and everything.
Yeah, he's got quite the outfit.
And then him and then have you ever met Mike, the Basquatch hunter, Mike?
I have not.
Have you ever met him at all?
No, I know who he is.
So I met him. Yeah. I met him a couple of times at some bigger fishing expos, like back in the day, back when he was way considerably smaller than he is now. He's getting a Discovery Channel show this next year and everything, which is super awesome for the kayak fishing community to have somebody on Discovery Channel that's getting their own kayak fishing show and stuff. So it's super high production. It looks really great, but his trailer and how he outfits and stuff like that is just super gnarly. He'll have he has a fully enclosed that has stacked up kayaks in it and like a whole sleeping area and everything. He brings a whole thing with him. So,
all right, you got any more?
I just no. That's the only would you rather you have. You got another one for us?
Would you rather empty a swimming pool with just a spoon? Swimming pool for half an hour with a jellyfish. It says a jellyfish, so I feel like I'm gonna pick jellyfish.
I think I could avoid a jellyfish for an hour.
For half an hour? Yeah. Half an hour. I can easily swim away from that for half an hour.
You just hit the tops. Remember? Dory showed us how to do that.
Just flick it and kill it, right?
Yeah. It's just I do know like a box jellyfish is the most venomous animal on the planet, it says, or whatever. Like they're way more venomous than like a king cobra or whatever. So even that though, it's not like a jellyfish is swimming 30 miles an hour. You can, I think you can avoid a jellyfish half an hour. Emptying a pool with a spoon, not even like a kid's swimming pool do I want to empty with a spoon. Number one, I ain't got that kind of time. Nobody got time for that. I ain't emptying it with a garden hose. What?
So this is a random one. It says, would you rather drink soup out of a farmer's welly or from a sock? This must be like another country thing because I don't know what a farmer's welly is.
I don't know either.
Welly.
I don't know what that is.
That's outside my range. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've reached the culmination. We've got one more segment, and you know what? We're going to ask you to join in on this a lot more. This is a great segment we call "What Grinds Our Gears," and so all it is just you just pick one thing that just pisses you off every day, and you just think about it. We both have one, and you can, like, as you're listening to us, you kind of ponder on it. I'm sure you got some brewing after the week you've had, so our chance to just unload about stuff that drives us crazy.
All right.
You want to start? Do you want me to start? What do you want to do?
Sure. So I have mine is when I try to log into anything on my computer and it says my password's wrong and then makes me change my password. And then when I type in what I thought it was, says I can't use my previous password and I have to change it. Pisses me off. Like, password, and you said it was wrong, but now you're not letting me use it because it was my previous password. And I got passwords that I have to remember for so many things between work, home, everything.
Yeah.
I've probably got like 18 different passwords. And when one of them makes me just change it, I'll never remember what I changed that one to.
Right? Because then you're just trying to go odd. You're like, oh, frog leg 78, whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing. I hate keeping track of passwords. Like I there's times where I'll do Post-it and I'll stick it in like different like folders I have or whatever. But I hate keeping track of passwords. It's
right.
I've tried my best to get my life down to like 3 or 4 passwords total. James, you got anything to contribute to the path problem?
To the password problem? No, but I got lots of things that grind my gears, man.
You know what? I'm gonna let you're chomping at the bit. I'm gonna let you go. I've got an easy short one for mine. And I'm gonna pour this beer out and we'll talk about it after we talk about your grind my gears. Go ahead.
All right. What the first thing that grinds my gears? I have a 20-year-old son that lives at home, and he takes no less than 3 showers a day, and they're all 20 minutes long, and there's never hot water. Like that grinds my gears. Like I hate that. Can't do dishes. I can't take a shower when I want to.
You and I have the same problem. I have a 19-year-old daughter. Same thing.
Yeah.
Why is he taking so many showers?
Mine takes 3 showers a day because of anxiety. Showers calm her down, so she takes a bunch because of anxiety. I don't know. It pisses me off because it's always the most inopportune time ever. Do you have more than one bathroom in your house, at least?
Oh yeah, but still, it's frustrating.
Oh,
so
I know. I have one bathroom.
I think I know why he takes 3.
He's
sitting around too much of that rod. He's got too much rod wax built up.
I think that's actually it.
Does he have Dawn dish soap in there by any chance?
I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's filthy, Dad. Just keep trying to clean the damn thing, and it just keeps getting dirtier. I don't get it. All right. Well, you've got another one brewing, so I'm gonna let you have another one, but I'm gonna talk about mine, and then we'll go into your next one. Does that sound good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So real quick, I'm gonna talk about beer. So, the very first beer that came out, collaborated Belching Beavers Brewery and Deftones, the musical group, was called Phantom Bride. It was after the Phantom Bride song that was on one of their studio albums. Well, this is their 10th iteration of this, and this is a double dry hopped hazy IPA that is the Belching Bride. So it's the same grain bill and everything. They just double dry hopped it. This comes in 7.1%, and it's a hazy IPA. You want to give her a go there, Kyle? Lots of citrus, lots of grapefruit right on the nose. Oh yeah.
3.
Really?
That is.
I think it's a great beer. This is like a great IPA. Super juicy. Not sweet juicy, bitter juicy, but it's good.
It's bitter.
Okay, fair enough. We're not gonna win them all with Kyle. Okay, so my grinds my gears was this whole thing was brought up by a coworker. I only have so many female coworkers, and one of them has a younger toddler or whatever that she still is. I probably can't say this word. We'll probably get back. She still feeds from her natural milk.
Okay.
So, but she was talking about how her son like walked up and asked for it, and my first reaction was, if he can ask for the tit, he does not deserve it anymore. Like, if he can, like,
verbally
talk to you and tell you that that's what he wants, you know what? He's done with it. It's. You shouldn't be like out at like a store, like that to your son or what? How old is he? Oh, 48 months. No, he's 4 damn years old. He about has a driver's license. Get him off of that thing. Like, this is ridiculous, lady. This goes right along the same thing. 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds in strollers out in public. Just because you don't want your kids touching things or whatever does not mean that the kid that weighs 125 pounds with his feet dragging a foot behind the stroller should be in a damn stroller. Like, he shouldn't be yelling, "Hey, fast, push me faster, SA." Like, no.
When they get older, they get electric.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh my god, that's my grandma gears. I just thought, like, if he's old enough to ask for it, you know what? He doesn't deserve it. I ask for it all the time, and I don't get it. That's the way the life goes. You got another one brewing. I know, because I could see it in your eyes, James. What do you got?
Well, it's been a week, right? So, but one of the things that you were talking about that also gets me is moms that talk to their 10-year-old kids in a baby voice. That drives me absolutely crazy. Cannot stand that.
Oh, 100%.
Talk to your kid like they're a normal person.
Yeah, well, especially at 10 years old. 10 years old, they're like almost at a job. Like you, you need to like. There's a certain point where you need to like, and I feel like a lot of that, we're gonna go down like a little bit of a thing here, but I feel like a lot of that is the reason that you get 20-year-old men that come into the workforce that don't know how to work and have no work ethic and stuff like that, because their mom has had them, like
coddled,
feeding and taking care of them and doing everything for them since they were, like, it just, nobody's allowing their kids. When I was 10 years old, my parents didn't see me until 9 o'clock at night or whenever
6 o'clock bell,
street lights turned on or whatever, like, and even then I'd still probably catch a little bit of a ass chewing because I'd come home an hour after that. ridiculous. They're all home. They're just, their mom's making them, grilled cheese sandwiches with the off, and they're 15 years old or whatever. Like, come on, like, let this kid, like, he's not a kid anymore. Like, this kid can almost buy cigarettes at the store. Let's let him go.
All right, my last one.
You know what? I'm right there. Oh, you got okay. Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
I'm ready.
My last one. So everybody's kind of told little fibs, right? Like for whatever reason, like you say something just to make yourself look better. But this is the one that's really got me this week. People who lie just for the intent of causing chaos. Hate it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I can handle a little white lie,
well, because it's not. Yeah. Well,
does this one? No, never mind.
The thing that I agree with the most on that is like there's no capital gain, right? They're not gaining anything by telling this lie. 9 out of 10 times, those are the same people that tell lies about them being part of things that they were never part of or whatever, just so they feel inclusive in a group, or whatever. Like, oh yeah, no, I was at that concert. No, you weren't.
I killed a bear.
like, or whatever. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We're gonna talk about this and I don't have them. I wish I had my picture right now. We're gonna discuss this, and this is gonna go right along with this whole thing. Okay. So, oh gosh, I gotta play this like.
I don't think there's any way to play it off.
Okay.
I think you're screwed either way if it's watched.
I don't think he's not gonna watch it. I have a person that works for the company that I work for that when deer season was around, shared some pictures out to a bunch of people, a bunch of avid deer hunters and whatnot, about this buck that he got. It was a nice buck. It was a nice sizable buck. Great picture. Until we reverse Google searched it and found out that the picture was from a buck shot in 2012 in Indiana. And so, yeah, and he was just, just out showing it off like it's something that he just had done, and he had a couple of doe, actual pictures of does that he shot and whatever too. But I think he was just trying to be like that guy, right? So once I found out about the whole situation, and I had found out about the picture and everything. So the next day I came in and I photoshopped my face on a hunter's face that had shot and hunted a bear, a big giant grizzly bear. And it was very crudely photoshopped. Like, it was very apparent that I had photoshopped my head on this hunter. It was out of proportion, all kinds of stuff. I sent it out as an email about this long story about how I had woken up at 5:30 in the morning and I stripped down naked, covered in deer urine, and I went out and I hunted this bear with my AK-47, and how this bear had numerous people and had killed Hitler and was the reason that JFK got assassinated and everything. And I made this whole about how I hunted him at dusk and I shot this bear, and now this bear is never going to bug anybody ever again. And I sent this picture out, and the response was overwhelming. It was like the people in the know on the whole thing, like, are calling me and being like, he's going to be in my office in 20 minutes. You cannot be doing it right now. I am going to just die when I see him, and yada, yada. So funny. And so every once in a while, now that, like, in that group of people that all know, every once in a while I'll just throw in like, well, at least the bear isn't going to get you or whatever. Like, it is by far the greatest inside joke I've ever been a part. It is the funny thing is, this particular person has also had to come to my office Keep in mind, my job, I'm not always in an office, but I do have an office, and I have 3 screens on my desk, and all my screensaver for all me shooting the bear, like standing over the bear with the gun and everything, is a picture on like the screensaver on all 3 of my screens, and that guy had to come to my office, and so he just sees this picture, and like, luckily he didn't at all or whatever. We had somebody else that was with him that
You
asked
would have made
about it,
something out.
and I did. I made something up. I said something like, "Oh, I had a buddy that was, bragging about all of his deer pictures, so I sent this out to all my friends for like, oh yeah, you guys shot deer, I shot a bear or whatever." I made it, but the people in the know, it's like the greatest. It's like the greatest thing ever. It's been, it has paid over and over and over. So, but we have unfortunately reached the end of our time. We've gone a little bit over from what we want to do, but we had a absolutely fantastic guest. James, I want to thank you so much for being with us and dealing with our shenanigans and giving us information about the kayak stuff. If you want to kind of just talk about where people can reach the kayak series, if they want to find out any information about it and that kind of thing, if you want to kind of express that real quick, and then we'll kind of sign off here.
Yep, for sure. So if you are interested in tournament fishing, look us up on Facebook, Heartland Kayak Anglers. We also have a website, heartlandkayakanglers.com. I'm on there. I'm pretty active on the page. You can also just message me through Facebook or whatever. Even if you just want to like talk fishing or just want to go out for a day, whatever, just give me a buzz. I'm always looking to take people fishing and just get on the water. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we might try to do too is I think it'd be really cool when we start doing these reviews for maybe like me and Kyle to come up, hang out with you, and we'll do some of those reviews like in person, and maybe we can get with say Marty or something like that and rent a couple kayaks for the day and go out and hang out on the water for a day or something too. So
yeah, that would be awesome, man. Would love to have you guys.
Very cool. All right. Well,
absolutely.
I appreciate you being on, and thanks for hanging out with us. If you want to hang in our like in the lobby here, we can talk a little bit after the show. I appreciate everybody over Kyle's TikTok with us. If you guys want to follow our actual TikTok for the podcast, that is Unlikely Role Models Pod, all one word. Go over and check out our TikTok. We've got, 4 or 5 videos on there. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're going to try to put some more videos up on there. And then catch us probably next week, Thursday, same bat station, same bat time, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, yada, yada, yada. I have been Shane, a.k.a. Horny Gnome.
I've been Kyle, just Kyle.
And then James has been hanging out with us. I appreciate everybody stopping in. Thanks. Have a great night. Peace.
Thanks, James.
Thanks.